if you're a practical engineer, if you're a student that wants to come and learn by doing and take those skills away into your future career, then Dundee is the place to come. There are many universities that offer mechanical engineering, Keith, yeah? They tend to take a more theoretical approach.
That really sets us apart. Right?
Yeah.
That sets us apart.
What sets us apart? Yeah, absolutely. What sets us apart at Dundee is that practical approach, those software skills, those project skills, working in teams, working in industry, all of that embedded and accessible through ICD.
Trying to get a job, Dave. So I mean, this is the key differentiator, where students go and get a job after they graduate, and the job, they ask for these skills. They ask, what is the practical skills that you've completed in the program? What is the group work? What is the communication skills? What is the IT skills? What is the core knowledge that you have to be able to come and work in my company as a mechanical engineer? And without the students being able to go back and refer to their studies and refer to a point in time where they completed a project, or they have that core knowledge and communication, then they'll not be successful in getting that job. And for our graduates, we're very we have great success in our graduates going forward and getting brilliant jobs, really. So I'm very proud of the program and what we do here at university. It's great, fantastic opportunity. I myself completed this degree many years ago, so this so I've got a good connection to it, so I kind of know it inside out.
We mentioned the fact that we've got mechanical engineering with renewables. Scotland is one of the centres of renewable energy in the world. And of course, to follow that, our drive team are right at the front, because they are now transferring from petrol engine racing cars into electric cars. So in fact, the drive teams of the future, that racing car you see will be an electric motor in there. So fantastic example of where our students are really stepping forward and being ahead of where technology is instead of just following it. So super example of embedding in with our focus on renewables as well.
Sustainability, I think, it's core to a lot of the students coming on to the program. So very aware of renewables and carbon footprint and things that are affecting the environment, and indeed they want to do their best to be able to create devices that are environmentally friendly. So moving from the electric car from the combustion engine is really something that's been driven by the students to do that. And within our program, the students can also go to Formula Student down in Silverstone, but enter the electric car event. And it's an electric car, an autonomous electric car, so you can combine the control element that they've learned in level 3 and 4 with their knowledge to be able to create this car. So it's very exciting as well. So it's a new direction for the program, but I mean, a new challenge is what engineers are all about. We like challenges.
Watch out, Elon Musk. I think the University of Dundee students are going to be the designers of the next Tesla.
Yeah, I would agree.
All our exit requirements are exactly the same as a year 2 student of Dundee would have at the end of their course. So they need to pass the course. That's the success of a student is dependent on passing the course. There's no higher achievement necessary in percentage terms than in the IS1, Lynn. But to pass the course, as you've seen, it's a fantastic course. They will need to fulfill the specifications of those higher level modules. So they'll be challenged more because it's a level 2. It's like a year 2 program, but they just need to pass. On saying that, I was speaking to a student yesterday and I said, how are you? And how is your course going? And he said, great, I'm just wanting to pass. Well, he had a long conversation with me then about how just wanting to pass isn't good enough, because it's in those things where a student's young, as Keith said, look at the opportunities for an engineer around the world. So I would say, yes, our students need to pass, but what they would be wanting and what we'll be wanting is for them to progress with a Progressing with Excellence scholarship, or more than pass the course, because that's about motivation, isn't it? That's
Yes.
about producing students that go out into the world and do great things. And that's what we want. And I think that's what colleagues in Dundee share, and the focus on, it's a long answer now, and the focus on sustainability is such that it's the new rulers of the world, it's new engineers of the world, and they're not going to be just the passing grade ones.
I guess I can field that question. And thanks. It's a good question, and it's a very common question actually. So in semester 2 of 3rd year, we have a specific module called engineering design, and within that module, it's core to the program. So all students will get an opportunity to go and visit a company. So it's working in small groups of 6 and 7, and they go and visit the company. The company then sets them the challenge, and it's a task over 10 weeks. So it's over the entire semester 2, and then they go back and they visit. They present their solutions to the company. At that point in time, it's up to the company to decide if their solution was good enough to be able to offer them a placement for the summer, for example. And a lot of students do go on and get placements, but it's very much up to the project that the students present. And if it's an excellent project and the company thinks you're excellent, that there's a high possibility they will offer you a summer placement. And a lot of those students go on then to work with the companies as well. So that's been a history of within the students within mechanical engineering. There's no specific funded other placements, but there is an opportunity with the module within the mechanical engineering program. It's called Industry and Innovation. I didn't talk about it, but within that module, the module lead teaches the students how to apply for placements, how to work with your CV, how to be attractive to industry, and that the students use the skills in that module. It's also how to set up a company and become an entrepreneur as well, but they use that to apply for placements within the 3rd and 4th year as well. So there is some opportunities to get the skills to be able to be more attractive for placements between the 3rd and 4th year as well. So that's how we engage. In the 4th year, many of the projects are with industry. So I had a list of 50 projects, and many of them are specifically with companies. And we have a specific project called Hydro Wheel for renewable energies, and it's to do with students helping to develop a portable hydro wheel for streams, for example. That's working with the company, a startup company. We have other projects that work with multinational companies. Some of my students have worked with simulation with some Formula 1 companies in the last few years, such as Reynolds, and they've used some of the old cars within Reynolds to be able to optimize the design. So, that's a great collaboration that's worked on the back of many years. So there is an opportunity to work with industry in the 3rd and 4th year.
So the university also supports all students through placements, but of course, students of science and engineering, I think, are the key ones that take up those placements, working with local and global industries. And we're working hard in the school to offer all students opportunities for internships, to support them the best we can. As Keith said, it's a kind of mixture of the matchmaking, the fact that we have all the contacts with those companies, we have direct involvement from those companies with the program. We also skill up our students so that they are capable of applying and being successful with the projects and placements. And as Keith mentions, we do have a small number of dedicated funded places where 5 students can go each year, but many more of our students choose their own placement opportunity, and all the support system is there. There is a part of it that is, in fact, that's a good thing, because it really is up to the student to put the energy in to be able to get that placement, and we feel that that's a strong element. For example, if we just had placements that students could just pick up, then would they do the best thing? We feel it's actually better for the students to be actively involved in getting that placement, the sense of achievement of getting the placement, and we put all the support necessary to help them do that.
Yeah, I mean, we've all the international stage 2s operate the same as the IS1s, so there's a September and a January entry.
Yes, which is perfect, because if they join in January next year for the IELTS requirement reason or financial reason, for all sorts of reasons, their time at the University of Dundee might be 2 years and 9 months. shorter. So
yes, sure. It's a fantastic partnership. We've set up, I think it was 2018, and it was through a research collaboration between one of our professors, Amin, and Amin had been working with CERN, so it's CERN, to be able to make some manufacturing using lasers for their experiments, for their physics experiment. So in CERN, we have a very, very large physics experiment using something known as a Large Hadron Collider, where they basically have particles and they have these particles and they fire them around this Large Hadron Collider at very, very high speed, and they can impact each other. And from that, they can find out some foundation information about the beginnings of life. So we have this partnership, and it's a massive facilities, but one of the key things about the CERN is that it's 10% of physics people that run the facility, but it's 90% of engineers who actually design the equipment, they put it all together to complete this physics experiment. So the students that go out from us, they go out and they have a range of experiments or range of different projects. For example, the cooling in one of the solenoids, for example, it gets very hot. How can we design cooling systems to reduce the heat transfer, for example, or the radiation. So radiation from the experiment is quite high. How we can design portable watches, for example, to be able to identify radiation on various different aspects of the campus. So it's very, very broad nature of mechanical engineering, but it's a fantastic opportunity, and the people that we meet over there are, it's just elite. It really is a fantastic. It's the best engineers in the world. It's the best physics people in the world working together for all of these different experiments, key experiments. And the students go there in semester 1 and 2, and it's just an opportunity to live a different life, really, and in a different, go away from the UK, go over to France and Switzerland, and to work in that environment, and to meet the other students as well that come from around the world and to work on these types of projects.
ICD students, it's a very special program, so it's not like a normal pathway program. I've seen other pathway programs where they shove all the engineers in. It doesn't matter what discipline they are, it's an engineering pathway. Ours isn't like that. It's mapped. The students through ICD will get the same quality of experience as the students in the university, but the same but different in that, as Professor Davison's mentioned, he knows ICD well, he knows the smaller class sizes, he knows the support. One special thing we did, and we recognise that fact, that an ICD year 2, you'll get students that may have come straight from high school that might need a little bit extra on the basics or the principles. We've managed to, again, as Professor Davison mentioned, all of our programs are approved. Now, what we've done in the design of the program is we've also what we call backfilled. We've fleshed out some of the modules, so it's actually more credits than a normal year 2. It's 140 credits, and those extra 20 credits were necessary to do exactly what you said, to make sure that no matter what background a student comes into ICD with, because international and global, very many different backgrounds. Some may have got everything, some may need a little bit more support in other areas. We have got the course that can in 1 year fill that background, fill those areas where a student might need a little bit more knowledge or a little bit more experience. So we've got it covered, is the short answer. Per year now, it's a Progressing with Excellence scholarship, so that's a cumulatively that's a big help for a lot of students, especially nowadays.
Yes, so sunny when they took this photo. No, it is generally, we're on the east coast, which means that most of the weather comes from the west, so we're nice and sheltered, and it is genuinely very pleasant conditions. Mild in the summer and not too cold in the winter, and generally quite dry, particularly in the winter. It's dry and crisp and bright, which is very nice. So, but just enough rain to make sure it's all nice and green and we see the trees and things like that too. So, but it's pretty good, I would say. No need for too many coats in the winter and no need for air conditioning in the summer. Perfect.
Ooh.
There's no extra cost. So we have, at the moment, we have different fee rates for different kinds of courses at the university. This is quite standard for higher education in the UK. So we have what would be called a classroom course and a classroom fee, and we have a lab course and a lab fee. So the mechanical engineering is in the lab band, so students would pay the lab fee, but that's the same as it were mechanical engineering, civil engineering, life sciences, you name it. So we have a common fee across the university for all of those kind of courses. So no additional desk fee or lab fee. Yeah.
Well, the progression rate for IS2 and IS1 is still very, very high. Of all those students that complete the course, people don't want to leave Dundee. So it's around 97%. I mean, why would you?
Very high.
So we tend to support students, and as I say, we tend to inspire students. They're not just aiming for a pass. If students were just aiming for a pass, then progression rates would be lower, because you know it's so easy to slip if you're just aiming for low. Our students are aiming for higher. Our success rate is fantastic. So as I say, between 97% and 100% of students, depending on pathway, who complete the course, pass the course. So usually the students who if a student is going through a hard time, maybe they have mental health issues, maybe they can't study well for some reason, we would rather catch them early, and we do monitor the students, catch them early and advise them to defer, etc., than to have students bump along and scraping the surface and then failing. So our way of teaching ensures that our success rate and progression rate is very high.